All right, Kimo, we are back with another part two of our conversation. And, of course, this was always in the works, but I think more so now than ever, a lot of persons are looking for additional information on how they can have like an overall, an increase in the quality of life that they're experiencing, and having food be a part of that. um, you touched on something the last time that I wanted to go a little bit deeper in, and that's just like mucus in the body. Now, growing up, I've always felt like mucus was like a healthy thing, something that's probably even normal. Like, yes, you know that when you get a cold, excess mucus will come out, but I've always thought that that was like something that exists. How how wrong was that, first of all? And then two, help me understand like the role that mucus plays in the body as it relates to causing dis-ease.
Well, mucus, we have what you call a mucous membrane. And by right, that mucous membrane really acts as a defender. So it was supposed to trap invaders from not letting you breach what they would have called the epithelial tissue or cells. If you breach the skin, you mean you get under. And when you go in, there's another layer of skin that protect internal organs. But the amount of acid that we consume on a daily basis, for people who have like ulcers, acid reflux, then get breached. When they get breached, the mucin will escape, which is like a acid. And it burns really hot. If it drop on you, it actually can burn through your hand.
Wow.
That is how dangerous it is. And once the mucous membrane get breached, that mucous membrane, which is the good layer, means that there's another mucus that is external. It comes from outside, come in. And once they unite and it intermingle inside, what happens now, you end up with what them call autoimmune disease. So your body now fight against you. So yeah, what they call internal war and internal strife. That is where you see people get boisterous, assiduous, insidious, disastrous, just wicked, because them have internal war. And when you have internal war, a fight, you really can't behave good. A little bit did a lot of people know that food really act out wicked behavior. Because the behavior
I know that like when you eat, the serotonin, and I think you touched on this the last time, is what comes from the gut. That's like the happy hormone that's triggered by what you eat. But no, I didn't know that, it also works the opposite end. So if your intent is of ill will, then that also will come out as well. Like that's insane.
Like if you check what they call melancholy, where I don't know if you remember in Jamaica, people would say, you're bilious, man.
I know bilious, and I know we use it in song. If I tell you I know what it means, I'm lying. I don't know what it means.
All right, so a man would say, all right, somebody will get angry, boisterous, and behave bad.
Yeah.
A man would say, oh, you're bilious, man. You're too bilious, man. But a little bit did he know that what he was saying, that his bile duct not working.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Okay, and then the bile is bitter, like your gallbladder.
Right.
Okay.
Not too swing too far, but in reality, maybe for another topic, patois was really a good language. I will show you something. If you say morning, in English, you would say good morning.
Yeah.
But there was no godly connection to good morning. Morning, mortgage, and morning is the same thing.
Right.
So if you just say ma, if you notice in a Jamaica, I would say if you eat too much and say you stretch your ma.
I just learned that, like maybe a year ago. My husband said that, and I was like, "What the hell is that even?" Like, no, that's your stomach lining. I didn't
Yes.
know that.
But your ma is also a part of your essence, it's spirituality. But nin, which is so you are MANNIN, nin. Nin is like a chi.
Wow.
So when we say
Morning.
morning, it was correct. If you say good morning, it's like you're going into mourning as if somebody dead. So when they give us English language, we really change it and balance it, not just like a feminine, but also physicality, female and male. That is the total. So internalizing with food is the same thing. We were supposed to be eating food with balance. So when the Bible say in Genesis 1 verse 29, and I give thee the fruit bearing seed for your meat, it was supposed to, because these food were supposed to be balanced. They are balanced food. They are electrical. They are magnetic food. And so when they go in, they wouldn't have to fight. They know exactly what to do. So let's say you have acid reflux and your stomach wall tear up. So it burn, the acid that burn a constant, and your mag down, your throat sometime you can't keep no conscious state of mind. Let's say you eat papaya. There's what you call inside the papaya mulch. So what it would have done is coat the stomach wall and like it start to repair the acid. So that stomach wall will get teared, it would have coated, so the lining will actually come back together. Yes, but let's say now you eat rice, white rice. What the white rice would have do, because of the arsenic content that is in it, it would have go inside and create a mucus space and cause more detrimental effect. And then when that goes down to your, what you call abdominal cavity, it spread out. And inside that mucus breed parasites, because nothing never really die. It's a cycle. And these bacilli now would come out and invade the body. The wicked part of that now, that they will defecate back in the body. And so when they defecate back in the body, it breed up more fungus, and then it decomposes the blood. So some food was supposed to be eaten and some was not supposed to be eaten. But we did not know that. So we continue to eat, and eat until, doctors say you have this, arthritis, diabetes, lumbago cancer.
Like that fungus thing is a great visual. Like if you ever picture those black mold that grows when ears are like damp or wet, it's certain to let you know that there's something extremely wrong that's going on. Like I had a cousin of mine who he went to the doctor and mucus was in his knees, and it had developed to the point where he wasn't able to walk. So like, how does the mucus know where to like land and gather? Yeah.
Well, the mucus, the intestine, when you eat something, by right, they say you must masticate 32 times. But God never really intended that for you to do too much work in eating. So when he created fruits, he put pectin. Pectin is a digestive enzyme.
Right. So and it's also in like jam or stuff like that.
Right. And once it is natural, when it becomes caged, it's unnatural. Tin food is unnatural. Anything or bag up is unnatural. So it's like a secondary food you're eating. When you pick a fruit, I just buy a fruit, wash it off, and you eat it. You get the living enzymes from it. So by the time you put it in the mouth, it starts to dissolve. So it would go down into your digestive system and the systems that need minerals. So let's say your heart need calcium chloride, which is the heart food. Your brain need potassium phosphate, which is brain food. But your bones need calcium, magnesium, calcium phosphate. Those are bone food. So for instance, now the bone is looking for this calcium, but it can't find it. So it will borrow it from the blood vessel or the teeth or the bones. So if you're constantly borrowing, let's say you have a neighbor, and your neighbor have a pound of salt, but you always never have no salt. So you go over there, go borrow a tablespoon. It's no more a pound. So tomorrow you're going to borrow and you borrow and borrow, it's getting less and less. So strain now start to come on the blood vessel, got getting weak. Somebody's robbing, there's a thief somewhere. It is the knee cup.
Wow.
Because this person now having what you call him bone spike or bone spur, bone growing up, because the synovial fluid that's supposed to get liquid. You know that little gel between the vertebrae?
Yeah.
Bone don't touch bone. It's gone. So that is why the acid never really start in the knee cup. It starts in the abdominal cavity. And because there was no nutrients from there to filter to that section, the bone have to suffer.
Wow.
You know, it's like you would call it a total body malnutrition. You know, so you end up
so the body in trying to defend and still do its job in terms of protection is trying to say, okay, where can we get excess that we can use to spread around? And it's wow.
So you see that section suffer. You know,
indeed. So
if you check good, let's say someone want them ear to grow, and you've been doing this and you've been doing that and been doing that. But if the brain is clogged with mucus from internal, the follicles won't spread out because the brain needs oxygen, iron. And once that fungus or anything clear, then the ear spring into being. It is that simple. But what do you put up there? You have to know the food. The brain have a special food for forage, for feed itself. But all of it start right here. You know, and once you clean the gut now, and the frequency can travel. As if you look good, when a child is farming, inside the mother is what they call the intravenous space, which is the maternal pool, just blood, 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 blood. There's what you call an umbilical cord that stretch out from the mother's womb and go right into pitch black here. That's just a tube. But from that tube, the blood will farm the life. So nothing but blood farming flesh. So that's why in the Bible it says, for the life of the flesh is the blood. One of the human being's main biggest problem is iron deficiency.
That was next on my list. Like I can honestly say, well, one, I don't know of a time that my mom was ever not anemic, but like myself and my sister, we both have like severe anemia, like single-digit hemoglobin readings. Like I remember some time ago, I went to the doctor and he's like, how are you walking? Like, how are you not passed out? Because your iron levels are so low. So he's like, walk me through your diet. Like, let me know what you're eating, what you're doing. And when I did, it's like, but you're eating all the right things. And I'm like, well, how is it that it's not translating over to these readings? And even if I go back in 2 months' time, it's the same thing. Like, how talk to me about how iron deficiency really helps to just limit the way in which the body functions, and what is the extent? Like, how bad can the damage be for someone who is iron deficient?
As I just said, because inside the great book of life I call the Bible, there is everything. For the life of the flesh is the blood. And I have given it unto you upon the altar as an atonement for your soul. Atonement means payment. So if you look good, if the life of the flesh, this flesh is the blood. It never started in the flesh, the blood met the skin and the flesh. Yes. So deprivation of iron has always been known the first killer of mankind. Wow. How did it come to that? It's simple. The food that we eat don't have iron. So when a doctor say you eat the right food, because remember now, if you look at the food pyramid, you would see meat. But meat was not a part of the Almighty conscious state of mind, because he said, I think in the book of Jubilee, he said, tell your sons and daughters, do not partake of flesh, because every man that kill an animal, his blood will be required by that animal. In Africa, they call it the Sasa spirit. So when you kill an animal, when that animal died, that spirit will plague that person. So this is where people would say, "Dopey upon you." The way how you behave, according to how much you kill. So everybody will see kills an animal. They always been plagued by an animal spirit or haunt them. It also said for every man that you kill, every man also will look for you to kill you. Your blood will be required of them. So upon that knowledge, we understand that you know, if you kill, if you eat, because your food was actually prepared for you already before you're born.
Yeah.
You understand me? So when you don't have iron phosphate or iron chloride, these are in fruits and they are in plants, you will be iron deficiency. The meat cannot give you iron. You understand me? But the fruit does. So once you don't have it, anemic is the first one. And 3/4 of the world is sickle cell anemia. I mean, like basically everybody. Then you will start have eye dimming, you won't see bright. As you reach 45, you're getting blind because there's not enough blood coming through your brain. You will have arthritis, rheumatism, lumbar or sciatic nerves. All of them will come in. Every pain in the world.
Because if the blood isn't pure, if it isn't rich with nutrients, then that essentially affects everything. Yeah.
Right.
You talk about, of course, the best sources coming from plants. Yes. Nowadays, a lot of people are looking into liquid chlorophyll as a way to kind of supplement that. Is that helpful, or does that help to increase the body's ability to absorb iron from things like lentil or greens and stuff like that?
Chlorophyll, chloro mean green and fill mean to regenerate. So you're actually regenerating. 1 million cells die per day. And so you need to replace back that 1 million dead cells. Now, we don't regenerate as human beings because we don't eat food to be regenerated. Chlorophyll is good, perfect, because they are cell regenerator. But most people don't know what is chlorophyll. Some people drink spirulina and chlorella, but those things originally, which is carrageenan, was supposed to come from the seed that was supposed to be pure. But man now is manufacturing those in labs. That's a total opposite from nature. Now, when you look good at chlorophyll, when you pick a plant from the mother, like you pop off a leaf or a limb, the mother wean it. It's no more connected to what they call iontrophosis. So for instance, when a plant sends into the earth, it sends out roots, pentacles all over, and it targets the minerals that it wants. Every plant has a specific mineral that it needs. So you have calcium plant, iron plant, sodium plant, phosphate plant. Them come from the earth. Inside of all plants, there's chlorophyll. But some plant, when you pick it, the chlorophyll benefit don't come over.
Okay.
Right. So then you have to know the ones them that the chlorophyll come over. So a lot of people drinking green juice. But green juice was not something that was prescribed. If you're having chlorophyll, you have to know the plant that has the chlorophyll benefit. I'll give you one. There's a plant we call him Urtica dioica. In Jamaica, we call it stinging nettle.
Nettle.
Right. That's a chlorophyll plant right there. So when you pick it, it still retains the chlorophyll benefit. And so you can put the leaf in some warm water and it kill the scratch, guys. It will scratch you. You know, and when you kill the scratch now, bam, you can just put that in your extract and you extract the green juice, and rich chlorophyll is there.
Wow.
But not every plant, like wheatgrass and some other ones that they have, lack of knowledge sometimes can do a whole heap of judgmental problems. And that is what is going on.
Yeah, because like that trend has taken over a huge chunk of the market. I've seen a lot of people who are like, look, chlorophyll, liquid chlorophyll, even like the essence that you can just drop in some water. Like that is what I've been, using as part of my daily routine. It's been so helpful, but then they can't tell you what's in it. They can't tell you what plants are chlorophyll plants versus calcium plants versus, whatever other minerals. So that's an important distinction because I didn't know that. And had I just gone out there and just bought that, I could have probably caused more damage because it's like, okay, I'm at the end of the day, I'm introducing something else into my body and I'm still not getting the nutrient that I need.
one of the reasons why enough of these issues, especially people go up on YouTube to look information happen. If you break it down, it's simple. So for instance, you are deficiency in calcium. And that person with deficiency in calcium may actually look for calcium. And so when they find it and they take it, that plant, specific plant, it worked for them.
Mm-hmm.
But that other person who look at that video where this person say, oh my God, this is great. I tell you, it's marvelous. They're getting some likes on their feed, of course. But that person drink it and it's not the same thing because you're not deficiency in calcium. As a matter of fact, you might more cause carbonate problems and you end up with calcification instead of calcium.
Wow.
And so this is what is really happening to a lot of people. So you tell people, say, you can't just go to Google or YouTube and say, that's it, because the information is not valid. They don't know. And I find a whole heap of that. So when you try to explain to somebody, say, listen, maybe you were deficiency in potassium.
Mm-hmm.
And the concentration of calcium plant is not potassium plant. You need a potassium plant, but then you have to know which plant gives potassium. Then you would have felt good. But sometimes when you even take potassium, you'll get a little, you would say, feeling like if you take a aspirin and you feel a little pinch from off the pain, you won't get the pain diminished because it's just a small amount of plant is in the aspirin.
Yeah.
You understand me? So there's a whole little glitch and hitch when it comes to health, but people are actors.
Listen, because nobody wants to do the work to read or to get a consultation or to find the information at the source. We want to know, we have a quick fix. We can get rich quick, we can get healthy quick. I just want to do this till Christmas and then I can live my life type of thing, as opposed to a lifestyle change, like the long-term thing. Like, you know, I think our generation right now is among the highest to face a lot of fertility issues. There are so many people who have been struggling to conceive. The last time you spoke about being able to assist someone after years and years of not being able to have her child, in terms of what you would more commonly find in situations like these, what are some things that on a day-to-day basis people may be doing wrong? And it's not, is it a situation for you where it's always on the side of the women that you are seeing some of these issues come to light?
Yes, three-quarters of my clients is ladies. If I have 100 clients, maybe at least 90 is women.
Wow.
Polycystic ovarian syndrome, you know, all these type of different mucus inside of the womb. I would tell you, to be honest, three-quarters of them is iron deficiency. And one of the reasons why it is like that is because a woman menstruates every month, but they don't replace that which they lost. You know, outside, if a woman do an abortion, it is critical to female reproductive system. And she supposed to clean out what you call the afterbirth, or what is the remnants of what is left. Most women don't know that it don't come out. And it will stay in there and cause plaque and blockage. Yes.
Wow.
And when that happens, it block up the whole womb. That is one case. Also, she is not getting sufficient blood to her womb. Also, they may have yeast infection, trichomoniasis, vulvitis, vaginitis, candida albicans. All these are uterus destroyer. The next thing is when the semen meet the egg has no life. So even if the semen eats the egg to charge, because the semen have electricity, when a man copulates with his wife, the semen travel to the brain to be charged by electricity. So if 1 million travel up there, only one will be charged. You know, and that is the one that comes back down and will go right into the egg and charge the egg, and then The fallopian tube will take the egg and carry it to the uterus and stay there for 9 months and nourish, and she have birth. Some women also they have pelvic inflammatory problems, or they might have an infection, maybe a STDs, and all these things is things that we have to look to watch. So when people talk to us, I say, give me a little history, not just today, but from you were 15, what were you facing? That way I know exactly what I'm dealing with, what I'm up against. You can say you want to be pregnant, but I really don't know nothing about you. You have to really tell me what's going on with the body.
And if you are talking to, say, a 30-year-old, like that's a 15-year history. Like that's a lot that has happened over that time.
Yeah.
That can impact, issues that may have been overlooked from she was 15, that's now coming to light and preventing her from, giving birth or having a child. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Mm-hmm. As I said that, I have a friend, and when he was in school, our younger days, he catch gonorrhea. And back then you would get antibiotic, mm-hmm. and maybe a penicillin, something like that. And at age 54, the same disease surfaced. Mm-hmm. And so he's going to the doctor for something totally brand new. And I am saying to him that it is the gonorrhea that is there. It may come out as something different, but it's the same.
It's still in the system.
Right. He must say, no, man, I get it out. I say, no. First thing you have to understand, God don't make mistake. Mm. The only thing that identify a disease, and all disease is basically mucus. The only thing that identify a disease state of mind inside the body is herbs. The herbs was created just like us. They're no different. They have sense. The plants have the knowledge of good cells and bad cells. So once the herb go in there, it sees and it analyzes it. And it says, listen, this is not supposed to be in here. What's going on? Mm-hmm. The lymphatic system gets involved because it is the one that you could say, switch poison out of the body through the kidneys and then to the urinary tract system. The digestive system normally in most cases is black. So you can't reach to the disease because there's a barrier. You understand me? So what I've happened now is that we have to clean the digestive system and the liver get functionable to clean the blood. Mm-hmm. Then the blood will create what they call macrophages and dendrites, which are immune fighters, to go to the immune system. Once they reach the immune system will glide through the body like a little boy on a surfboard and picking up the garbage, put them in the container and to take them to urinate out or defecate out or sweat out. If that is not taking place, the disease won't move, because in most cases with an antibiotic, that is not the case. So the disease stayed dormant for all these years in there, just laying down, looking and waiting for the right time to expose himself. Mm-hmm. And so when we check, because when I was sick back then, I realized why I couldn't get better, because mm-hmm. what I just explained was not taking place. I am blacked up, stuck up, and full of all type of
sick. Treating the symptoms, like you highlighted that the last time around, that we spend so much time treating the symptoms, not necessarily
it don't work.
Looking at the root.
Right. Yeah. So that is what happened.
You talk about like women who have had abortions in the past and have not like removed that after birth. And I remember it's not so much right now, but maybe 2 years ago, a lot of information was being put out about vaginal pearls and the ability of those to pull out like what's left inside the womb, what has not been passed through, on a regular cycle, or, whatever it is that's left back. Is that something, to the best of your knowledge, that has benefits as they would put them out? Is that something that women should be using, a part of their feminine, sexual and reproductive health practices?
The human being has come a far way, but one of the biggest mistakes we make is that we forget who created us. Mm-hmm. And the moment you forget who created us, you also forget about you. As the Bible says, my spirit shall not always dwell with man. Man become corruption. If you have a decomposed blood, meaning you have pus inside your blood, one of the problems you will face, you will have a nasty scent, very smelly, not good at all. If you have decomposed flesh inside the body, the only thing that moves it is plant. It may sound funny. Any other approach will disastrous scrape it out. Then you will not just have those removed, but you will have good cells that dead again.
Scar tissue.
Right. Now the problem with a cell when it die, this is similar to what they call cancer. When one cell die, it drains another good cell. In other words, in Jamaica, what I say, one bad apple do what?
Spoil the bunch.
Right. So that is exactly what happens. So you create another disaster for yourself. But there's a difference. Let's say you take a plant by the name of Campbell, and you give a woman that plant to drink, who's ever have any form of womb problem, whether abortion and leftover, any other thing. And she drink that for months upon months. You'll find out every dead cells, it will actually lift it and run it out, and she will urinate it out or defecate it out. And the womb is clean without no problem, no destruction, no issues. Just good. Outside of that, any approach is acidic approach. And so you have, all right, I have clients who...
Boric acid, a lot of people use boric acid too.
That's dirty.
Suppository.
That's dirty. That's dirty. I have a client who have a, what they call a C-section, 25 years. And 25 years after big woman, she feeling chronic pain at the same cut.
Wow.
And she said when she do the test, let me see a big scar tissue underneath here. All these years as not well. And she's in agony and pain. And then something destructive left happen. The pelvic stay open.
Ooh. And
it wouldn't close. Now, if you look at that situation, then you have spinal cord damage. You got the back constantly a pain. And when I say, give me a little history, but she never know about it until way after 25 years when she went to do a test. Them said this.
That's what's happening. Wow.
Right. So when she come to me and say, can this be closed? And I say, yes, it does need to close. You need those plants that are constrictor. One of the chemistry or the science of plant is that every plant was already created to meet our health demands. So when you take out mucus out of the body, which is the perpetrator, wherever you find it, that place, because it gets what you call like a push start from a plant, will bring it forward to its being. And so when she get close up, it was kind of mind disturbing because, I mean, for so long it open and she tried 100,000 something and it can't lock and them say operation, she said, no, she can't go through that again, God, for so it caused. So when it finally closed and she asked, how this possible all these years? I said, well, that's what herbs do. I really don't know, but when you put them inside the body, they know exactly.
They know what to do, yeah.
So we would tell the woman who are using all these things inside it, don't do that, it's too sacred, it's a very sacred place. Get a good plant, an iron plant, sarsaparilla, mutamba bark, these things, clean it out. And the waste. And you know a good plant in Jamaica, we call them inflammation weed. I don't know if you hear about that plant. Dog blood.
Dog blood. Yes. Yes.
Yes. It's a very good cleaner.
Wow. Yes. I like coming into 2020, I'm speaking for myself, but I know a lot of people can relate. Like just the year that was kind of left a lot to think about, like just where you are at in your life, like what you've really been doing, whether or not you are instigating change or impacting the people around you. And a lot of people in their quest to kind of bring their purpose out, they have been trying ayahuasca as a way to connect with themselves spiritually and just, I guess, face those things that they have been avoiding, they haven't wanted to face. What, if anything, like we know, most people know about weed and the fact that, okay, you know, you can get a high by just the chemical components. A lot of people know about like tobacco and those kind of impacts as well. But the difference with ayahuasca, based on what I've read, is that, okay, this is more a spiritual experience than it is just for recreation. In our last conversation, you talked about just the fact that, of course, we're spiritual beings. And so that connection just with ourselves and to our food is something that we need to be more aware of. Tell me, I guess, about what ayahuasca is, if and how that can either help or hurt people who are on that path to spirituality.
I think ayahuasca is a psychedelic plant, and it can really jump you to like different dimensions for most people. And most people, especially in 2020, want to escape the reality. And you can't escape it, because it's the reason why this reality is here now. One of the things we find out, you know, I like to jump in the Bible sometimes, because enough of my inspiration knowledge really comes from there. You know, it's if my people who are called by my name would change their ways and, you know, leave from sin, then I will hear the prayer from heaven and heal the land. But you would find people who want to do the same thing that they do over the centuries and don't change. They just want to get by, they want to go party, they want to have a nice time. But nobody too really don't kneel and pray. So for a man to heal a person, first thing, he also has to be in a conscious state of mind. You have to fast, you have to connect to the higher realms of life, not just these modern affairs. You know, you have to talk to your creator. You have the more reason why, well, so why go on that, the only thing look at him and say, well, don't do this tomorrow, because I know you're going to do that next week. Do this. You literally can talk to your creator because it's inside of you. Now, people always find ayahuasca, also some people use mushroom, you know, to escape the reality, but you can't, because you're a living spiritual being walking the planet. You must go through this trauma. This trauma is in the state of what them call decision to make. You have to face the evil and come out of it same way. And the only way to do that is to get your body in a state of rest. The Bible says, go to the old part where you find peace and rest for your soul. But they say they won't walk it therein. You understand me? So what we tell people to do, God, this question is focused to me more than one time. We say, listen, change everything where you know you are the wrong. Just stop doing it. It's a bad habit and it's far already, and we know that. And so it stressed the mind, because if you look, Jamaica is on lockdown a lot of times, and people cuss and quarrel, cuss the prime minister. Not like the prime minister is the best thing anyway, but then cuss because them can't go party and them can't do this and them might get mad. But it don't make life better for you. It show you how lost we are. So if you find some time for the first time in your life and go to the creator, you actually will solve a problem if you genuinely go for it, solve it. I know, so you're going to take a time and wean away. The first thing I tell people to do is try your best to cleanse out the blockage that are keep it from ascend. You want to ascend, but you can ascend naturally.
That is it, because ayahuasca it forces you to go to that higher self. But what you're saying is that can be your everyday state of mind.
Yes. It can be every day, every second, every minute. The mind is one of the most powerfulest things on the planet, and anything you program the mind to do, it will do it. And I will show you. If you're watching a Netflix movie, and it is a series, every time you watch a 49 minutes, you want to see the next part. So automatically you're being programmed to that series. All right, suppose you internalize that behavior inside of you. You get the same result. In other words, you go to school and learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That won't leave you. So that's a programming right there. So if you want to get something achieved, program yourself too. One of the problems, people did not learn how to master themselves. They learn how to master everything else outside of self. And so when it's time to program self, no, they can't, because they already so much information is internal in the brain, in the memory bank. It's like full, it's like a chip in a phone loaded. And you have to go take it out now and get a new one. That is what people are afraid of. So if you could take out that old chip, move from that old paradigm and come to a new you, people make resolution, right? So December coming on, people say, okay, this is my Christmas resolution.
New Year's resolution.
Yeah, but it don't change them.
Yeah.
They just go right back into doing the same thing. And so from decades to decades, they keep rolling back the same.
You talk about decision. They have not made the decision.
No, they're not going to do it. Yeah. So you find out some of us will do, some won't. And I tell people there's only one way to do this. You have to get your body in tune, move out. I say this to you, when you eat meat, it creates parasites. Parasites defecate back into your body. They climb out so far and go even up to your optic nerves and eat down the optic nerves, the connection, that fiber to your eyeball, and you end up with glaucoma. People end up with cataract, but people would actually go to Cuba and scrape their eyes, and they will say, good, 1 year time, you have to go back to Cuba. But if you check good, nobody's paying attention that it's not working because they see good for your hair. But each time you scrape, you damage the lens and the film of the eye. So now you have to get a glass. But if you notice, if you get the glass, if the glass come off, you can't see. So where the problem is, in your gut, one, and the mucus dropping from the top of your head, coming down and cover up in your eye walls. But people don't pay too much fine details attention if you know there's something not right. Why is it not working? Why am I have to go scrape all the way? Because you're not paying attention. So we tell people, say, you have to pay attention to your body. You must know if something will work. If you're going to the doctor for 20 years and the problem not moving, it's not working. Stop it. Change the paradigm, change the shift. Go other places, try other things. You know, wherever you get the benefit of seeing, do it. You understand me? So we get into a higher place, ayahuasca really won't care there because you're looking at jumpstart. So you want a natural start, you know, a natural one.
Wow. You know, ultimately, like, I've always seen those people like monks, or even, you know, even if like Rastafarians, like real Rastas, they like eat them vegan food like yourself, but not necessarily herbalists all the time. They always feel, to me, you guys give off like an energy of just being enlightened, like you just know. But you know, it's a lot of discipline that's required to, one can say, even to fast. Like I know that growing up, I used food to comfort, food as a form of comfort. So I remember this is a story I love to tell. I lost like 10 pounds, and to celebrate, I ate pizza because for so long, food for me was, and for a lot of people I know, that's how you celebrate. You feel good, let's go eat. You feel bad, let's get something to eat. You want to relax, all right, what we eating? You're watching a good movie, all right, what's the snack?
That's the program.
So, you know, the programming around food is that, okay, well, if it's not smoking, if it's not alcohol, if it's not any form of drug, then you're doing something good. But the long run is that, okay, well, you're not necessarily eating foods that will kind of re-energize you, that will bring you to that higher consciousness. Because if you're happy, more than likely you're eating something that's cheesy or something good that bring about that good feeling. If you're sad, you're eating ice cream, or even if you're just snacking. So as someone who is constantly in that state of consciousness, like you're connected to your higher being in a different way, what's in your kitchen? Like, what's in your pantry shelf? Like, walk me through what's going on so that, you know, persons can understand that, okay, it doesn't necessarily require spending an arm and a leg in order to start that journey. Yes, at some point you need to have your herbs infused in your life as part of your regimen, your routine. But in terms of the preparation of your meals, this is what that can look like.
It's simple. It's very simple. If you come to my house, maybe you would hungry. I really don't store food. And I remember I had a girlfriend and she always say, why every time I come to this place, there's nothing to eat? I said, because I don't eat what you eat. I am trying to let you eat what I eat and you're still stiffing out. But basically, going through a day of eating, like since morning now, I eat some spelt, spelt flour, and just some callaloo and coconut juice with okra.
Wow.
And that's it. And then through the day, we eat like burro bananas, maybe 10 or 9, drink some coconut water, electrolytes. If you look at the food, you can understand. So spelt is fiber. So that go down and bulk your stool and send it to the bathroom. If you look at callaloo, is iron. Okra is also high-tech fiber. So what it does is pick up waste and move it. If you look at banana, that's potassium that unite with every cell. If you look at coconut, now the water is electrolyte, so that is brain. Yeah, and if you even know we have a cup of tea, but that cup of tea now is actually to go inside the body. That is more like a purgative tea, which takes tiny dosage. Once that goes inside the body, any form of remainder that is not supposed to be there in any cells, it goes there and it picks them out and it flushes them out. So the body don't feel weak or lagging or don't have no drive or zeal for life. During the day also we take like 8 iron capsule that are herbal
Or your
capsule,
IIB.
right, to keep the energy floating. So we don't really have like a set meal plan because in reality, when we do history, we realize our people was like what they call seasonal people.
Yeah.
So if this season it was mango, they would move right there and live for 6 months. When the mango finished, they would move where the melon is and live there for 6 months. That is how they usually live. And so we tend to live that type of way, but we really do eat cooked food occasionally, not a lot, because too much cooked food slug the body. Don't care how healthy the food is. Every cooked food left a little tiny bit of slime in your body. And if you don't know to move that slime, it pad you. So when a man's belly is big or a woman's belly is big, it's really mucus. It's not really flesh. It's mucus pad. So that's why the doctor them could do liposuction or cut out, because it's the sucking out mucus, raw coal. Yes. The problem with that now, that swim in the blood. And if it go in the blood, you can put all type of blood disease from sickle cell to leukemia, you name it. For hemoglobin, that is what you want. So you eat food that enter your lungs, because your lungs is where oxygen move from and circle your body. If you notice in Corona, a lot of people have breathing issue.
Yeah.
But it's not the Corona give them. The Corona only show them up. So Corona look on the long time and say, no longer than I breathe, you're not gonna make it worse. Yeah, that's what it do, And so everybody know about, and most people know oxygen is in a tank. And so if you don't get this tank, you're dead. So if you look at society has been sick for decades, for centuries. But few people really understand, because people don't take time out. They want a quick fix. And they have to go about tomorrow and drop down again. So each time now the doctor can hold you, because I know you're coming back. If you take the time out now to clean the lungs pipe with plants like zinc plant, plant that boosts your immune system and your digestive tract and your blood, then you get rid of the problem. As next month is December, everybody's going to sick again. And that's been happening for decades.
December name, big cooking, rice and peas, all the meats, goated soup.
Name it. Wolipa party.
All the things. Wow.
There's a plant in the United States, they call elderberry. If you get elderberry and elderberry flowers, that is a very powerful immune plant and a blood plant, a brain and a heart plant.
Wow.
So in your kitchen, as you ask the question, what is in my pantry, which I don't have one anyway, but what is in there is that tea also, we have a paniculata tea, nettle tea. Why these teas is in there? They are not just herb, they are cell food. So even if you didn't eat and you take nettle, let's say you take hudia, I don't know if you ever hear that name,
No.
it's a type of cactus. And when you powder it and eat it, you don't feel hungry, but you won't put on weight. If you take sea moss, Crungus crispus, that type of sea moss, and you make a smoothie.
That's a big thing nowadays. Like so many people are either selling sea moss or saying that they can source it for you. Like
because of the Dr. Sebi situation.
Yeah.
But most of them don't know the right sea moss because inside the United States of America, they actually hybrid in sea moss. They grow it in an aquarium up there. You know, so you will be buying sea moss and think you're buying the right one and you're not getting it. You have to buy Crungus crispus. So you have to Google that and you will see what sea moss looks like.
Crungus crispus.
Right. And once you identify that sea moss and you get it in the right farm, then you just start taking sea moss. Outside of that, you're not having sea moss.
That's important. That's an important distinction. Like going back to the chlorophyll or just how people are hungry for the information. There's not enough ways in which that they can, consume that. So of course you come to YouTube or you come to somewhere that you don't have to read a book, you can watch a quick video and learn something. But then, just, to your point, it's very surface level. So they only hear that they need to be taking sea moss. They haven't dug deeper to say, well, it's Crungus crispus. Like that's the one that you need to be looking for. That's important.
Very important.
For someone who has been watching the content, they saw the first video, they're looking at this video, and they're looking to get started. They want to know, they have made the decision, they want to know, how do I improve the health of my body? Like, I want to be able to focus for longer. I want to be able to have that energy to be able to go through the day and not need as much caffeine. I want to be able to have a full life and really connect with my higher self. Where do they need to start? What is
thing? Yeah, say it.
Oh, what is step one? What is step 1 or 2? What's the first 5 things they need to be doing?
Well, it's always not in 5 things, but the very first thing you need to do, whatever is inside of the body that's impeding oxygen, take it out. And those are when you eat your ice cream, your fast food that you eat on a daily, your snacks that you go to the supermarket to get, all of this gluten, that bacon strip that you eat in the morning, that waffle. That
talking all the nice things, Kimo. Yes. Oh my God.
So all the destruction, because we have to remember, your body is the temple of the living God. And so if God decides to live in you, then he respect you and love you and honor you. But the day that you start to feed the Almighty God with junk, he don't eat those food. That is not his food. And that is why I say man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High. So you actually can live on words. And I say this to you. Sometimes you have people who call me to find out information on how they can get their health back intact. And upon sometimes just talking to them, they will say, well, I don't know what happened, but it feels like I start to get healing already. It is because of the word. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word was God. So the word will proceed out of your mouth, supposed to be life. If your words has no life, that means you're creating havoc in society. You understand me? So the first thing to do is remove the impediment, the blockage, move them out, send you to the bathroom. The only way a human being can unite with themselves is when they go to the commode, or we call the bathroom. Let out the waste, let it out, take it out, and renew your spirit. Then once you do that, we give you iron to oxygenate the cells, rich red blood floating around you again. Yes, then you can start to do fasting, because you can't fasting with too much blockage. You do
right there is an important point, because like for a lot of people starting off on their health journey or weight loss journey, a lot of people head right to fasting. Let me just fast for this 12-hour or 16-hour days, but they have not done the first two steps. They have not even increased the amount of water that they're drinking at the bare minimum, but then head straight to fasting. So, you know, I just learned something. Well, I've learned a lot throughout this conversation, but just even the ways in which we have been programmed, or what society kind of puts out there, that's an important distinction.
A lot of people make the mistake to do intermittent fasting, but sometimes intermittent fasting is like you're just missing the breakfast, because you can destroy the fast. So for instance, you fast for 12 hours. And then after the 12 hours, you may go and eat some bacon or some steak, baby back ribs, or a burger. Then you destroy everything that you're trying to accomplish. So we tell people 12 hours fast is not a fasting. You just miss a breakfast, and you will do more damage to yourself. So when you fast, when you're moving from a fast, eat some papaya, eat some melon. If you want to do a cook, you just drink some vegetable bra. But you don't put back the same thing, because remember, when you fast, that food is already in your system. The fasting really won't reduce it, you know. You understand me? The thing to do when you fast is to clean the gut out. That's the body don't want to feed on the food that is already inside there. That will destroy your health. I hear 2 years down the road, you're sick and you're doing what sick is, the fasting secure, because you don't understand what you're doing. So what you need to do is clean it out first, clean out the waste, take it out. And when the body feels renewed and fresh, then you fast, because you're fasting for a higher purpose. You want to get up here to control this mind. The greatest thing in earth is to have a disciplined mind. If you don't have that, you won't reach far. So when you fast, you can actually do even a dry fast. One day, 6 a.m., 6 a.m. Or if you don't want to do a dry fast, you do a water fast, good water, 6 a.m., 6 a.m. If you master that, then you can move to 2 days. You're trying to reach upstairs, because this is heaven. This is a throne room, and down in your gut is hell. And a lot of people, belly is their God. So if you worship your God so much in your belly, you won't reach heaven, because your belly is down to inside hell. So in order for you to get this hell out of you, you have to control your belly, because whatever goes on in hell will affect heaven. You know, so you want to reach in heaven, to have all the action and the power. You have to discipline it. Then you have to stop eating those food fast. If you pass 36 hours of fasting, you make a good start. 36 hours either of water fast or a dry fast. But let's say you want to do a fruit fast. I recommend always, if you're doing a fruit fast, do a fruit fast with nettle tea.
Nettle tea.
Right, because it's nutrition. So you do that fast for 36 hours, only fruits, and preferably one fruit, not two. So if it's papaya, it's just papaya. If it's melon, it's just melon. You will hungry, because your body don't use that, but it's a jump start. You know, 1,000 miles begins with one step. Don't be afraid, because your mind's
What's the right way to be drinking water? Like for a lot of people, it's okay, a percentage of your body weight. Some people are saying, okay, but you need to be adding like a Himalayan salts to kind of get that boost in electrolytes. For some people, it's the intervals. So based on how it's positioned throughout the day, you drink that 8 glasses of water instead of just gulping 1.5 liters off the bat. Like, what's the right way to be consuming water to kind of aid in this cleansing process?
Very good question. But people drink water when they feel thirsty. I mean, it's common sense. Because if your body won't take it, you won't drink it. And if your body not taking water, obviously there's blockage. So what we tell people, the first thing you need to do is to remove blockage. Because you have some people don't drink water, none at all. They say it don't taste good, because they have blockage and impediment inside the body. Once the regulation of the circulatory system is active and serving you, you will take in enough water. If you're going through if you're doing a water fast, you start with any amount of cups you can take, because you don't want to feel too full. the idea is not to regulate any regiment. It's for you to take your time, do what you do. The less you do it, what that you can control, the body react much better. Because this regimen say 1.5 liter, you're going to force that. It don't work good. You can't force your body into things. You have to take your time and do it slowly until you get the result. When you will know when you can take more. And once you can take that more, then you put in more. The more you put in, you get out. But if you try putting more and already of what is inside, it won't work. The problem is that too much waste is in the belly. And it's keeping all type of things black up. So imagine now you have beef, pork, chicken, goat, oxtail, fish in your belly. And they constantly melting each day. When you put water inside of that, that water becomes stagnant water. Stagnant water inside, enter into your circulatory system and cause all kind of heart palpitation. Damage the valves them and the arteries. Some people get strokes. Some people have what they call myocardial infarction or ischemic strokes or cerebral problems, guided floating. You don't want that problem. So clean out the waste as the water can push. You see how your body big? The water needs to reach all 3 trillion cells. And if all those cells absorb that water, you feel good. But when this will up a blockage inside of your belly, it can't work. So you put in tiny doses, like 1 drop constantly will bore a hole inside those meat. You understand me? So you put in the amount that you can take in. When you get out the waste, then you put in 1.5 liter.
Should people be adding like Himalayan salts or, you know, lime or apple cider vinegar to their water to help with, I don't know, ingestion?
No, because you have to look into how the creator work. He didn't create water with Himalayan salt or vinegar. He created water. Now, we can do things according to all the knowledge that is out. Because if you put lime inside of water, it creates a cleansing property. Because lime is like a citrus, and that helps to boost your immune system. When you do that in the morning, when you wake up, you get some warm water or lukewarm water and squeeze a lime and you drink a cup to help bring down the night before. So we tell people one of the best things to do, stop eating at say 5:30. If you can't manage, don't eat. Because the body starts to break down complex food at 11 p.m. and it stops only at 2 a.m. in the morning. So you're going into fasting mode. Remember when you wake, they say you break, you fast. So that's a breakfast. So you've been fasting from since you've been sleeping right back to the morning. Now, when you break the fast, you might just put junk back in your body and cause a problem where you try to get from the fast. Right. So what you do, stop eating at say 5 o'clock because 5 hours of food take to break down. And once the food don't break down, it go into the 11 p.m. digestion. And so it causes complex behavior right up until 2 a.m. And so some people wake up feeling lazy, chronic, like them never sleep. They bring Ghana, China, and then to America. All over the place. You don't relax. So what we do, when you want to bring down things faster, you drop some lime in the water and you drink that. And you don't eat no fruits until 1 hour time. You can't wake up and eat bacon in the morning.
Right, sorry.
You know, you eat a papaya, a piece of melon, a ripe banana, any little soft nature fruits and get the body fiber content active to push it out. You know, the fasting is very important, but it's not a regiment. You know, you take your time and do what I do. If you miss breakfast or miss lunch or miss dinner, what people call intermittent fasting, don't eat food. Eat fruits. That's the best thing to do.
Wow, like, of course, like every time I talk to you, my mind is blown because honestly, you kind of show up that there is not enough knowledge out there. There is not enough of the right knowledge out there.
Right knowledge. Right.
to help people to, you know, get to that higher power. Like we all want to feel as though we're kind of moving and operating in the best versions of ourselves. And we need to be eating, fueling our minds, our bodies with the right things in order to accomplish that. Like we have gone over so much. And I know that there will be a ton of people who want more information, who have made some decisions, or maybe they have something that's bothering them right now. I know you're now on IG. What's your IG tag? What's your
Ankh, ANKH 412.
412.
Ankh 412.
Nice.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll drop the link to your IG. I'll drop your WhatsApp into the description below, and persons will be able to reach out to you directly. Like honestly, to that point, you know, of the person who was like, when they talk to you, they feel as though their healing has begun already. I have to say that I don't know if I don't think you've ever come across someone that you're like, I don't know if I can help you, but it's always, yeah, man, we can't fix that. Yeah, man, we can't work on that. We can't work through that. And that alone, you know, stirs up hope, especially for people who have been experiencing issues for 25 years, 30 years. You know, ultimately, we all want to know that we're, you know, in the best health. We are around to serve those we love for as long as we can until our purpose is fulfilled. So it's always good talking to you, Kimo. It's always good. I really, really appreciate you taking the time and sharing your knowledge. Yeah. I know that you said earlier that you do like IG lives. How frequently have you been doing them so that people can catch up?
You know, the singer singing the melody?
Yeah.
Well, we do IG every Sunday, 12 midday to about 2 p.m. And I do mine also by myself, most time Thursdays and sometime in the week.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like this is not a one conversation thing, really, because if you are trying to, in the same way that we grow up eating pizza and jerk chicken on a Friday, KFC on a Friday, like we have learned so much about the wrong ways to do things. It takes some time to unlearn that. It's definitely not a one conversation thing. It's not an overnight thing. It's a consistent, you know, decision. It's a consistent action to be like, okay, this is where I was last year. I can do better this year. I can improve upon that. You bust some myths for me, like especially around that iron deficiency, especially around even water and how to listen to your body when it comes to consumption of water, even fasting, so that you're not trying to force the body into things that it's not ready for. You're working with it. You're using that to your advantage. And that's
one of the things I don't think a lot of people listen to. The amount of information that is on the net, these people who are giving these information, they are really not in the best interest of people understanding. Why I say that? Because I listen to them too. And what I found, you can't create like you're in an army. If you're a soldier stand up and an ants is biting that soldier, he can't move. It's simple as that, because he's in a regiment. Soldier, you will get arrested. You understand me? For you as a human being, if you're drinking water and you feel the tummy full, stop. Don't put no more in there. Just wait, because it means it's not breaking down fast enough. And once it's not breaking down fast enough, the heart will go underneath constant pressure. And we see what happened in heart attack and strokes, especially now, because a lot of people right now is in a fear mood. Worry, depressed, stress, anxiety and depressed. And that is a limbic system damaging the brain. And if your brain chip lick, boom. In our country now, I think the suicide rate is up, very high. And a whole heap of people actually just losing their mind, because, since Corona, all turbulence come down on them. And so we tell people, say, you can return to yourself, calm your spirit, pray, eat right. Even if you don't have the money, go out and buy some jackfruit, eat, because you never usually eat it. Eat Ethiopia apple, get some oranges, feel like a change, and pray. God never leave us. No care where we are going to. Find a little room sometime and just kneel down. Beg forgiveness if you know your sin. Ask for forgiveness. Pray. Prayer work, it never fail, but it's just that you have to be genuine. Some little things work, but most people don't speak of the Almighty no more because everybody is self-righteous and self-taught, and it's about self. So the moment you forgot your creator, then problem comes. You don't want that to happen to you. You have to go to the old part and seek who created you. You understand me? So it is as simple as that. Simple,
Simple as that. I don't really need to say anything after that. Thank you so much, Kimo, for hopping on. I'll share your information in the description box below. And of course, guys, you can feel free to reach out directly to connect with Kimo if you need help, kind of getting back on the right path.
Yes.
Until next time, this is Come Make We Talk.
All right.